Welcome back to English Listening, the channel where you improve your English through real, natural stories. Today's story is called A Morning at Maple Café. It is a B1 level story, which means you will hear natural conversations, everyday vocabulary, and some interesting situations that can happen in real life. Before we start, here is a small tip. Try to listen to the whole story without stopping the first time. Just relax and enjoy it. Then listen again and pay attention to the vocabulary and expressions. The more you listen, the more natural English will feel. Are you ready? Let's begin. It was a busy Tuesday morning in the city. The streets were already full of people, workers rushing to their offices, students checking their phones, and delivery drivers weaving between the traffic. The sky was a pale grey, and there was a cold wind blowing from the east. Sarah pulled her coat tighter and walked a little faster. She had a lot on her mind that morning. At 11 o'clock, she had an important job interview. The most important one she had ever had, she thought. She had applied for a position as a digital marketing coordinator at a well-known creative agency. She had prepared for weeks, practicing her answers, researching the company, and choosing the right outfit the night before. But despite all her preparation, she felt nervous. Her hands were slightly cold, and her thoughts kept jumping from one thing to another. She decided to stop at Maple Café, her favorite place in the neighborhood, to get a coffee, sit quietly for a few minutes, and calm her nerves before the big day truly began. When she pushed open the heavy glass door, she was immediately greeted by warmth. The smell of freshly ground coffee beans and warm pastries filled the air. Soft jazz music played in the background. The café was already busy. Students sat with open laptops. A group of office workers stood near the counter, talking loudly, and two elderly men were settled in the corner, reading their newspapers with great concentration, as if the whole world had stopped around them. Sarah smiled. This place always made her feel better. She joined the queue. There were two people ahead of her. While she waited, she looked up at the large wooden menu board on the wall and tried to decide what to order. She usually had a flat white, quick, simple, reliable. But today felt like a day for something a little different. When it was finally her turn, the barista, a young woman with short dark hair and a bright smile, greeted her cheerfully.
Good morning. What can I get for you today?
Hi, good morning. I'd like a medium oat milk latte, please. Oat milk, not regular.
Of course, no problem. Anything else?
Actually, yes. Could I also get one of those almond croissants? They look absolutely amazing.
Great choice. Those just came out of the oven about 10 minutes ago. Would you like it warmed up?
Oh yes, please. That would be perfect.
Lovely. And can I take a name for the order?
It's Sarah.
Perfect, Sarah. That will be £6.50. We'll bring everything over to your table when it's ready.
Sarah tapped her card on the reader, picked up a small paper number from the counter, and turned to look for a seat. The café was quite full, but she noticed a small table near the window. Just one seat, with a nice view of the street outside. She walked over, sat down, and took a long breath. She reached into her bag, pulled out a small notebook, and opened it to the page where she had written her interview preparation notes. Key skills, common questions, things to remember. She read through them slowly, mouthing the words quietly to herself. She was so focused on her notes that she didn't notice someone standing beside her table. "Excuse me. Is this seat taken?" said a voice. Sarah looked up quickly. A man in his mid-30s was standing there, holding a large coffee in one hand and a folded newspaper in the other. He was wearing a dark blue jacket and a light grey scarf. He had a friendly, open face and looked slightly tired, like someone who had also had a long morning already. "Oh no, not at all. Please go ahead," said Sarah, moving her bag slightly to give him more space. The man sat down across from her and placed his coffee carefully on the table. He unfolded his newspaper, then glanced briefly at Sarah's notebook, covered in neat handwriting and small diagrams.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be nosy, but are you preparing for something? You look very focused.
Sarah laughed softly. Is it that obvious?
Yes, actually. I have a job interview this morning. I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
I completely understand. I had one last week. It's such a strange feeling. You prepare, and then on the day itself, your mind goes completely blank.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm afraid of.
What field are you going into, if you don't mind me asking?
Marketing. I've been working in retail for about 3 years, but I want to move into digital marketing. It's something I've been working towards for a while.
That's really interesting. What kind of role is it?
A marketing coordinator position at a creative agency. It's quite junior, but it's a really good company, and I think it could lead somewhere.
The man nodded slowly, looking genuinely interested.
Actually, and this is quite a coincidence, I work in digital marketing. I've been in the industry for about 6 years now. My name's James, by the way.
No way, I'm Sarah. What a small world.
Ha, I know. London is full of coincidences like that.
Do you have any advice for someone who's just starting out in the field?
James leaned back slightly and thought for a moment.
Honestly, the most important thing is to just be yourself. A lot of people go into interviews trying to say what they think the interviewer wants to hear. But the best thing you can do is show them that you're curious, that you're willing to learn, and that you're genuinely excited about the work. That matters much more than experience, especially at the beginning.
That's really reassuring to hear.
Also, and this is practical advice, try to give specific examples when they ask you questions. Don't just say, I'm good at communication. Say, here's a situation where I had to communicate something difficult, and here's how I handled it. Specific examples make everything more believable.
Sarah was writing quickly in her notebook. This was exactly the kind of advice she hadn't been able to find online. Just then, the barista arrived at the table with Sarah's oat milk latte and her warm almond croissant. Here you go. Enjoy, she said with a smile. Sarah took a sip of her coffee. It was smooth and slightly sweet, with a gentle warmth that spread through her chest. She broke off a small piece of the croissant. It was buttery, crispy on the outside, soft in the middle. She hadn't realized how hungry she was. James and Sarah continued talking for a few more minutes. He told her about his own first job in marketing, a small startup where he did everything from writing social media posts to designing posters to answering customer emails. He talked about the mistakes he made and what he had learned from them. He was honest and funny about it, and Sarah found herself laughing and relaxing more and more as the conversation went on. At 10:30, Sarah glanced at her phone and felt a sudden rush of panic.
Oh, I'm so sorry, James. I really need to go. The interview is in 30 minutes and I still need to get across town.
Of course. Go. Don't let me keep you.
Sarah quickly closed her notebook and began putting things back into her bag.
Thank you so much. Genuinely. You really helped me feel more confident. I came in here feeling quite anxious and now I feel ready, I think.
You are ready. Just remember, be specific, be yourself, and smile. You'll be brilliant.
I hope so. Good luck with everything, James. I hope your week goes well.
You too, Sarah, and hey, let me know how it goes.
Sarah stood up, swung her bag over her shoulder, and walked towards the door. Just as she was stepping outside, the barista called out from behind the counter.
Good luck today. We'll have a celebratory coffee waiting for you when you come back.
Sarah turned and grinned. I'll hold you to that, she said, and stepped out into the cold morning air, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. 3 hours later, the glass door of Maple Café swung open again. Sarah walked in. She was still wearing her interview outfit, the dark blazer, the neat shoes, but now she had a wide smile on her face and a small, happy brightness in her eyes. She walked straight up to the counter.
Hi, I believe there's a celebratory coffee waiting for me.
The barista looked at her for a second, then broke into a big smile.
You got it.
I got it.
The whole cafe seemed to feel it. That small, quiet moment of someone's life going right. And that is the end of today's story. A morning at Maple Café. How did you find it? Did you catch most of the vocabulary? If there were words or phrases you didn't understand, try listening again. You'll be surprised how much more you notice the second time. Learning English is just like Sarah's morning. Sometimes the most helpful thing is to slow down, take a breath, and trust the process. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe and click the notification bell. A new story comes out every week. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time.